U.S. presidential election. Kamala Harris surprisingly received a very large amount of campaign donations.
Earthquake records in Kon Tum.
2% VAT reduction to boost business activities for enterprises.
Welcome to today's news. My name is Nguyễn Thị Minh and I will be your guide through the day's latest update. In the first week of the campaign, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris surprisingly received a very large amount of campaign donations, equal to 2/3 of the amount that her Republican opponent Donald Trump received in the first 3 months of the second quarter.
The campaign management team of Kamala Harris stated that the U.S. Vice President's campaign had just started a week ago, but has already received $200 million in contributions from over 880,000 donors, and 66% of that came from people making their first donation in this election year. This is an incredibly impressive figure, given that Harris is virtually certain to become the official Democratic nominee for the U.S. presidential election, replacing the current president Joe Biden. If she wins against Trump, she could become the first female president in U.S. history.
Russian President Putin warned that if the U.S. deploy long-range missile in Germany, Russia will deploy similar missile with the capacity to strike Western target, and emphasized that the U.S. missile deployment carry the risk of triggering a missile confrontation like the Cold War era.
Putin's warning was issued during a large-scale military parade in the city of St. Petersburg to commemorate Russian Navy Day. In his speech, Putin declared that Russia will consider itself free from the moratorium on the deployment of intermediate-range and short-range missiles if the U.S. deploys missiles in Germany. The Russian president noted that the U.S. deployment of long-range missiles in Germany would bring important military and state facilities, administrative and industrial centers, as well as Russia's defense infrastructure into the range of these missiles. This would threaten Russia's national security. Putin reiterated his previous warning that Russia may continue to produce intermediate-range and short-range nuclear missiles and will consider deploying them after the U.S. brings similar missiles to Europe and Asia.
This morning, July 29, Kon Tum experienced 11 consecutive earthquakes, continuing the 21 earthquake that occurred there yesterday. On average, this area experienced more than 1 earthquake per hour.
The Earthquake Information and Tsunami Warning Center at the Institute of Geophysics has just issued 11 consecutive earthquake alerts in the Kon Plong district of Kon Tum province. The earthquakes occurred from 0:07 to 7:08 on July 29th, with magnitudes ranging from 2.5 to 3.2 on the Richter scale. From the first earthquake yesterday, July 28th, at 3:12 to 7:08 this morning, July 29th, Kon Tum has experienced 32 earthquakes, with the strongest one measuring 5.0 on the Richter scale occurring at noon on July 29th, causing strong shaking in many provinces in the Central and Central Highlands regions. Since April 2021, hundreds of earthquakes have occurred in Kon Tum, some of which have caused widespread tremors. Earthquakes in Kon Tum are expected to continue in the coming time. Currently, the Institute of Geophysics is deploying 11 monitoring stations in Kon Tum and conducting in-depth studies to assess the seismic activity in this locality.
Coming up next are some updated news.
This morning, in Vinh City, the Nghệ An Provincial Labour Federation and the Sieng Kuang Provincial Trade Union Federation of Laos organized an exchange of union activity experiences for 2024. During the seminar, the two units looked back on the relationship based on the cooperation program that was signed in 2017 and the cooperation orientation for 2022 to 2024. At the same time, they jointly evaluated the achievements as well as the difficulties and limitations in fulfilling the functions and tasks of the trade union organization, and exchanged experiences on trade union activities in various fields. For future cooperation, the two sides will continue to strengthen the exchange of experiences in taking care of members, developing the organization, building social funds and trade union resources, support work equipment, protect the rights and interests of workers and working citizens, collect information and manage labor outside the system, mobile labor in the two countries, etc.
In July 2024, Nghệ An's Industrial Production Index was estimated to have increased 11.04% compared to the same period last year. Industrial production in the area has maintained a fairly high growth rate. Specifically, electricity, gas, steam and air conditioning supply increased by 34.36%. Manufacturing increased by 9.46%. Water supply, sewerage, waste management and remediation activities increased by 0.3%. Mining and quarrying decreased by 4.19%.
The official website of the Paris 2024 Olympics has announced that 2 Vietnamese dishes, pho and spring rolls, will be served to the athletes. Pho will be featured in all 3 main meals for the athletes every day. For the spring rolls, the French hosts have provided a special description. Instead of being called by common names like spring roll or Chinese spring roll, as before, the organizing committee is using the term nem and introducing it as Vietnamese cuisine.
Along with the policy to extend tax and fee payment deadline that the government issues in mid-June, the policy to reduce VAT by 2% applied from July 1st to the end of this year is considered an additional boost to provide support for businesses and stimulate consumer demand. This is in line with the spirit of Government Resolution 93 on removing difficulties and promoting business and production activity for the people and enterprises.
If the extension of tax payment deadlines is considered as businesses being able to borrow this amount of money without having to pay interest, then the 2% reduction in VAT will save them this amount of money. Businesses can reduce their product costs, and consumers can also buy at lower prices. In this case, thanks to the VAT reduction, this enterprise has the conditions to restructure its product costs to be more competitive, which will then strongly unlock the consumer market.
I hope that the VAT reduction could also supplement some additional products so that we can have more convenience in restructuring our products.
Although the economy has returned to growth, businesses are also struggling to recover due to the impact of soaring raw material prices, exchange rate fluctuations, and skyrocketing freight rates. Many traditional markets have frozen. That is why this is the 4th time the National Assembly and the government have decided to reduce VAT, in order to continue supporting the people and businesses in production and business.
During the recent period, the VAT reduction policy has been effective, and the tax department has also disseminated information, assigned specific tasks to ensure that enterprises benefit properly and fully.
Enterprises in Nghệ An account for more than 97% of small and medium-sized enterprises. Their economic potential is not large. Therefore, in addition to the policy of debt deferment and rescheduling, the VAT reduction will be a major resource for enterprises to reinvest in production and business at a time when there are still many difficulties as at present. This will increase their resilience and create a foundation for sustainable development in the coming time.
That is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching and see you next time.